Hello, students. I want to welcome you to this orientation and academic advising program. Master's program in the department falls into different categories. We have the regular MSc, Civil Engineering, Civil with Environmental Engineering. We have the MSc in Coastal Engineering, and we also have the Master's program in Construction Management. Whichever one you are in for, I can assure you that you are in very good hands. You have seasoned and very experienced lecturers who will guide you through your studies and your thesis, as the case may be. My major advice to you is to build on what you already have and possibly try to improve on your previous certificate. I know quite a number of you are working. At the same time, I want to advise you to be current, attend your classes, which are mostly scheduled for after office hours. You also have the luck that for now, you will not need to be physically present in class. I remember my classes, 4 p.m. and above, and we used to work till late in the night. But for now, we are going to be doing remote and online teaching. So that gives you two benefits, two advantages. The first advantage is that you don't have any excuse to miss classes. All you need to do is just stay close to your system, switch it on, join the class, and you have a second advantage of revisiting your lectures, because after the lecture is over, the lecture would have been recorded and saved in the course shell, and therefore you'll be able to go back to the course shell and revisit what has been done. And we can do this severally until the topic is very much clear to you. We are here because of you, and we tried our best to assist our students in the last academic session. I can promise that this academic session will continue in the same manner while observing COVID protocols. The online teaching continues. Just today, we got information. We are scheduled to resume next week. We have got updated information that because of the state of emergency, we should continue to work from home. So that means that the online teaching is reinforced, is confirmed for the nearest future. I don't know when things will change, but the situation can still change. And whatever developments come up, you will definitely be informed at the appropriate time. And let me also assure those who are located outside Trinidad that we are also here for you, and whatever decisions made in the course of teaching and examinations, you will all be carried along. I just want to advise that you all remain alert and watchful, and also protect yourselves. I'm just doing a welcome address. More details will still be given to you in the course of this orientation and academic advising with respect to your courses and the registration process, as well as the commencement of classes. Already, classes are scheduled to start on the 6th of September, which starts in about 2 weeks' time. So I want to advise that you try as much as possible to complete your registration before then, because of the benefits that you are going to get, especially with regards to your joining your classes on the blackboard. But again, don't be bothered if for one reason or the other you are unable to complete your registration before then. Your lecturers will send links to you through which you'll be able to access the classes temporarily. But I seriously advise that you complete your registration as soon as possible. I also want to tell you that myself and all members of staff keep open door policies. You are free to interact with us at any time. You are free to contact us by mail or by phone, or through any means available on any issues requiring our attention or assistance for you. And I promise that we'll quickly respond to your needs. I continue by also stating the facts, the areas of research, especially for the higher programs, the higher degrees. Areas of research include building / construction materials, geotechnics, structures, coastal engineering, environmental engineering. We have natural hazards management, construction management, water and wastewater. And our regulations are governed by the UWI School for Graduate Studies and Research. So I strongly advise you to make sure that you go through the faculty booklet for postgraduate studies, and as much as possible, familiarize yourself with the regulations of the UWI School for Graduate Studies and Research. By the time you do this, there will be no excuse for anyone who breaches the regulations of the university. And then at the postgraduate level also, especially for those on research degrees, I'm aware of some financial not assistance, but in terms of research, I'm sure there are some ways through which the UWI School for Graduate Studies assist students. So I want you to check up on that. So especially if you're interested in making publications, carrying out real research, development, and so on and so forth. I'm sure there is some element or amount of support for that. So I will end by giving you what I call the tools of success. I will list the tools of success, which if you are able to follow strictly, you should not have any problem throughout the course of your study. And the first one is that you try as much as possible to attend all your lectures. Okay, and if you are unable to attend for one reason or the other, you can also try, you can make sure you catch up with the recordings. Sometimes in the course of teaching in class, some lecturers mention certain things which they examine students on, which may or may not be in the course notes or the materials. So that is the essence of making sure that you attend all your lectures. Secondly, in the university, and I'm happy all of you who have passed through the first course of degree, you all have bachelor's degree. So you already know that for every 1 hour of lecture, you are required to have 3 hours of study. Please maintain that. Moreover, as you are graduate students, more will be expected of you, more than the undergraduate students. Because at the undergraduate level, we still try our possible best to spoon feed them. But at this, your graduate level, please don't expect to be spoon fed. Okay? Then my third point is that you should make very good use of your time. Like I said, I know some are working, but at the same time, you should not be all work and no play, and also be all play and no work. Try and balance your time. Schedule your time to rest, time to work, time to do other things. And I'm sure if you are able to do this successfully, I'm sure you are not going to have any problem. I also want to advise you to manage your resources very well. Your lecturers will give you consultation hours, although I'm very sure that majority of them will attend to you at any point in time if it becomes an emergency. So also make use of the library and all other university resources like the lab, if you have some experimental work to carry out, and so on and so forth. My fourth point is that you try and be very organized. Be very, very organized. Try and keep track of your assignment schedules, particularly now that everything is remote. So you are going to be given a lot of assignments, which you are expected to do within a stipulated period of time, and you are expected to submit within a particular deadline. Please try and organize your work. Nothing bad, nothing wrong if the assignments are becoming numerous. Nothing wrong in you getting a notebook so that you can, keep track and can write down the dates and the times the assignments will be due so that you submit appropriately. Lastly, I want to advise you to obey the rules and regulations set down by the university. Particularly, I'm saying this particularly in view of examinations. You'll be given specific periods to do your exam, and you'll also be given a specific period to submit, to upload, assuming you are doing remote examination. And please make sure you follow all the regulations so that you don't end up not submitting your script at the appropriate time, because the university would have given you sufficient time. Also, there are a lot of other rules and regulations, okay, in terms of registration, payment of fees. Please familiarize yourself with all these regulations. So if you're able to do so, then I'm sure, and you are able to keep to them, I'm sure you have a stress-free studentship. You'll be able to complete your program on time, and you will not have any issues with anyone. So let me again welcome you to the academic session. I'm sorry, I did not give my name initially, but it's not too late. I'm Dr. Festus Odutoge. I've just started as the head of department, because I'm sure many of you would have by now have been used to Dr. Trevor Townsend, who has retired from active service. So, but I promise that I will continue in the same manner, treating all your issues with every seriousness, and make sure that you are able to carry out your studies successfully. We'll continue to help you, and after this welcome address, I'm sure you are still going to be introduced to a lot of other things, and then get more details about all the things that I've touched on very, very briefly in my address. So I wish you a successful academic session. Thank you very much. Keisha?
Thank you, Dr. Festus Odutoge. You'll now have the coordinators for the respective programs. I don't know who will want to go first. Dr. Dalpesh?
Yes, I'm fine with that. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the postgrad orientation session. I am Charmaine O'Brien Dalpesh. I'm the coordinator for the Coastal Engineering and Management Program. Okay. Okay, so those of you who have selected this program, thank you very much. I am pleased to tell you that we've had quite a few students pass through over the last probably 15 years. And we've had students not only from Trinidad and Tobago, but we've had students from the region. We've had students from Barbados, St. Lucia, Belize, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Vincent, St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's a regional program. And why we have this regional program? Because we have found over the years that there was probably one coastal engineer maybe 30 years ago in Trinidad. And we've only had to depend on foreigners. So now that we have this program, we in the Caribbean are able to manage and take care of our coastal environment. So this program offers both an MSc and a postgraduate diploma. It is headed by myself, Charmaine O'Brien Dalpesh, and Dr. Deborah Villarreal Lam. Together, we probably have 40 years experience, Deborah. We are also assisted by two part-time lecturers, Dr. Lorna Innes, who works at UNEP, and Mr. Anish Gopi. We also have assisted by our secretary, Ms. Tanisha Lewis. We also have technical support, because you will recognize for coastal engineering, you will have a lot of field and lab, and we have that support by Ms. Cheryl Jackson and Mr. Joseph Cardenas. We also have research assistants, people who have gone on to further their degree, conduct MPhil or PhD in the coastal area, Mr. Anton Ali and Ms. Shani Braffett. So what is the aim of this program? It's really to provide you, the graduate, with the necessary knowledge of coastal processes and coastal engineering techniques required for the assessment of coastal defense systems, the design of coastal engineering schemes, with particular emphasis on Caribbean conditions. That's not to say we wouldn't focus on areas outside of the Caribbean, but our particular emphasis in the Caribbean. Coastal engineering is a branch of civil engineering, as you will recognize, because it's in the Department of Civil Engineering. It's one of the younger fields in the civil engineering area. So, as I mentioned to you, coastal engineers work within the interface between the land and the sea. It's one of the most harsh and dynamic environments. And therefore, in training you have to have a good understanding of this dynamic environment. And that's what makes it challenging. No two environments will be the same. So you will work, your work will greatly impact on coastal communities. You have to protect people's homes, businesses, assist in design of ports and harbors, design coastal structures, but also it includes involving integrated coastal zone management. So you will be developed as a graduate to design and assess coastal engineering schemes that are quite common now around in the Caribbean and in Trinidad and Tobago. You'll be capable of developing coastal zone management plans, which is trying to more or less take management in a holistic way and no longer managing just one sector, but we try to manage the entire coastal zone, whether it's fishing, bring everybody on board. And it's important now. You will be able to assess environmental impacts for all coastal projects and capable of implementing and managing new research initiatives. Yeah, next. Yeah, as the head had indicated, all our courses are online, and even before the COVID epidemic, we were doing partially delivery online because some of our students were able to partake in the course online. So you wouldn't have a problem. So all the courses will be on My Learning. All the documents and everything will be on My Learning. Also, because we no longer could come into the lab, you will be also facilitated with the use of the lab remotely. So all the software and everything like you would have to come in to use, you'll get that remotely. So all students within Trinidad and Tobago and outside will be able to access everything. We offer both a diploma, which consists of 28 credits. Students have to complete all of the courses except research methods, which guides the research project. So that's the difference. The MSc program, on the other hand, you have to complete 40 credits. Next slide. 7 4-credit courses, 1 3-credit course, which is the research methods and the research project. But you have to complete all the courses before you can proceed to the research project, okay? You would have seen that the program delivers both full-time and part-time. Most people think full-time and part-time means the time of classes. No, it doesn't. It really means full-time. You're a full-time student, you can complete all the taught courses within 1 year, 2 semesters. So it's posted up here when semester 1. I think most of you will be part-time though, but full-time, within the 2 semesters, you'll complete all the 8 taught courses. For part-time, it will take you a bit longer because you will be only doing 2 courses per semester as opposed to 4. So most of you, I think starting in September will be part-time. So your first semester for your first year, you will do CZEM 6100 Coastal Processes and Hazards, and CZEM 6101, Coastal Geomorphology. So those are the 2 courses you will register for this semester. And next semester, you will be doing coastal zone metrics, coastal zone modeling. And in your year 2, you will complete the other 4 courses, and then you will embark on the coastal research project. Because as coastal engineers, we have to design, we require data. As I said, we require data from the coastal and marine environment, such as wind, waves, tides, currents. And therefore, part of this course is actually teaching you how to collect all this data. You may not, as a coastal engineer, have to collect it. It may be contracted out. But this course will teach you how to collect it. Because even though you don't collect it, you will be given the data. Some company or group will give you the data, and you have to be able to understand what you're being given. So you will be able to execute both field and laboratory work related to the assessment of oceanographic and morphological data. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19 and the lockdown of our beaches, I am not too sure how much field data we'll be able to collect, or if you can go in the field at all. But hopefully next semester, I hope that we will be able to do some field work. But this semester, we'll have to do all labs and field online. So we'll have e-field trips, okay? So one of the fortunate things about this program, we have most of the equipment to train you to become a good coastal engineer. We have equipment to measure wave and current parameters, water level, undertake bathymetric survey, conduct beach profiles, data on the weather, measure longshore currents, and even water quality. So we have quite a much of equipment, and they're all state-of-the-art. So you're very fortunate to be coming into this program and being able to use all state-of-the-art equipment. We also have software. One of the things we have, which is we're proud of, is that we have a 10-meter long wave flume, the only English-speaking, university that has this. So we're very proud of that, where you can apply some of the maybe field within a more controlled environment, looking at bed changes and wave loading, impact on mangrove system. So we have this facility, but until the labs are open back, you wouldn't have access to this. Okay, you could even do your research with this facility. We also have state-of-the-art modeling software. We have DHI Mic 21, we have Thesis, we have Fluent, we have SANS. So you are equipped with all the equipment and software to undertake this program. Okay, this is one of our drifters that we throw out. It is equipped with a GPS, so you just throw it out and it tracks the currents. So this is one of the state-of-the-art equipment we have. And the next slide shows our students in the field. This is normally during the second semester, where we have a coastal zone metrics, where we actually teach you. It's a hands-on course. We carry you out, and it's normally about a week in the field, and we train you in data collection using all the, whether it's the environmental profiler, the grab for sediment sampling, the ADCP, things like that. We also undertake research activity, which is led by Dr. Lam and myself. And as an MSc student, you can also undertake research for your research project. And even the BSc students also undertake some research, also in coastal engineering and management. Okay. We also, as part of a team, could undertake research training and provide technical advice to some government agencies. So when you're about to embark on your marine research project. As I said, we have all the data. It could be field-based, it could be purely using a computer software, but you have the options of undertaking any of those projects. And here I've put up a list of, main topics that have been undertaken over the years by students: environmental impact assessment, looking at vulnerability of the coast to coastal erosion, assessing coastal engineering solutions, beach morphodynamics, looking at numerical modeling of shoreline change. So it's quite a range of topics you can undertake for your MSc research project. Okay, at the end of your year or 2 years, you'll be asking me, what can I do with this degree? Most people think it's very narrow in range, but it isn't. And I think it's because people don't look outside of maybe Trinidad and Tobago or the Caribbean. So this MSc or postgraduate diploma, whichever one you selected, provides you with opportunities in both the public and private sector dealing with coastal engineering and management. There are also significant opportunities worldwide, and I think students don't know that. You could work at the Inter-American Development Bank, where we have a student right now working for probably the last 5 years. UNEP, UNDP, you also have a student at UNEP. So these are the more worldwide opportunities that you could get with your degree. You could also work in the oil and gas industry. We've had students work in NGC, Trinity, whereby they perform jobs such as looking at if you bring in a pipeline, a gas or oil pipeline, it has to eventually reach land. So it has to cross the beach. And that's where sometimes the coastal engineer looks at the beach dynamics, the impact on the coast. And they also look at sometimes getting data for platforms. So it's not limited to just the land, but also the marine environment. You could work with government. I'm proud to say that the Coastal Protection Unit, which is within the Ministry of Works and Transport, is a unit that was probably formulated about 4 or 5 years ago, which was ready to manage a coastal area of Trinidad and Tobago. And fortunately, it has been managed and still is being managed by past students of this program. So we feel very proud that we have a unit that is managed by coastal engineering and management students. Okay. Institute of Marine Affairs, which is mainly data collection, looking at the marine environment, providing advice to government. People have been employed there. I was once an employee there. The EME, we have students, past students who have employed there. Local government, who I think needs to get a more stronger role in managing our coastal area. Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, we have students who work in the Coast Guard and the Defense Force, because the Defense Force has now an engineering section, and you could be something like the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Consultancy. Here is where I feel very proud, because we have at least 4 or 5 companies that have started by past students, either in data collection, looking at environmental impact assessments, things like that. But students who don't want to work for anyone, they have undertake the consultancy for themselves. And finally, which I think is a bit low down in the screen, you can go do more postgraduate research. You could go on to do your MPhil or PhD from there. Okay, so there are quite a few opportunities. So don't think it's limited only to Trinidad and Tobago, but there are jobs within the region and outside. Next, okay. I think Mr. Lee Leon will talk more about this, but we have a staff student liaison committee, and when he talks about it, we would like 2 students from this program, 1 new and 1 returning, to volunteer to be on that committee, and he will give you a little bit more information on that. And I think that comes to the end, and I am free to ask any questions. The recordings of all these orientation sessions today will be posted on the civil engineering website, okay?
Let me just jump in here. This is Deborah Lamb. As Dr. Delpesh just finished, I just want to welcome the new students to the MSc Coastal program and welcome the returning students. Hope you're ready to work because we have a lot of work to do and I know things not easy across the globe, but we're here to help you and support you through your learning and development in the program. So just want to welcome you in that regard.
Thank you, Deborah. You can contact either Dr. Lam or myself if you have any questions after today. Or Tanisha can advise you if you have any problems or issues, okay? Thank you. Keisha?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Delpesh, for that detailed presentation. I will now put you on to Dr. Richard Clark, who is the coordinator for the MSc Civil Engineering, MSc Civil with Environmental Engineering program. Dr. Clark?
Good afternoon, everyone. Special welcome to our new students. Ordinary welcome to our returning students. These are interesting times. We've had such eloquent introductions to our programs. I'm going to dive right in and open the floor to any questions you may have, given that you may want to focus at this time on your academic advising and registration issues and things like that. Some of you might have some questions. You might be 100% sure of your direction. That's why this is called an orientation program. So let me open the floor and invite you to ask any questions. If you're a little shy to switch on your mic, you can always type it in on the chat. While you're doing that, I'm going to anticipate your question and provide some information, okay? So if you are registering as a part-time student, Dr. O'Brien mentioned that there is a possible misconception between part-time and full-time. It is really referring to the length of time that you take to complete the program, okay? So if you are part-time, it doesn't matter which degree program that you're doing, you are expected to complete within 2 academic years. So 2 semesters in 2 academic years. And in terms of the university rules for registration, you have to register for not more than 9 credits per semester. So if you've registered as part-time, then when you're selecting your courses, select them on the basis of not more than 9 credits per semester. When it comes to the masters in civil or civil with environmental, we are looking at 40 or 41 credits. And that is because in your second year, this is if you're doing it part-time, or in the second semester, if you're doing it full-time, your electives, one of the courses is worth 3 credits. The others are worth 4. So that's why we say 40 or 41. Okay, that's enough preamble. Anybody have any questions at this point? I see there, how many of you out there? 92. So I guess there will be a good bit of you who are coming in to the civil with Envi or the civil MSc programs.
Good afternoon, Dr. Clark. Javon
Good
Jacob
afternoon,
here.
welcome back.
Thanks. Just to clarify, because this was something I had to run by Miss Jordan a couple of days ago. This rule about 2 years to complete if you're part-time, that only applies to the taught courses and not the thesis.
Yes, that only applies to the taught courses. Now, I believe that our head of department mentioned certain documents that you are required to know.
Yes,
the main one.
Yeah.
The main one is the faculty booklet. And in there, we have a thorough description of what each degree entails. And you will see that when it comes to the research project, that is done in what is called S3, meaning semester 3. So that is, of course, also within the context of a full-time program. So you take the first 2 years if you are part-time, or the first year if you are full-time, by which time you are expected to finish, let us say, in May. So you have between May and the upcoming months, there is some leeway here on how long you take for you to complete your research project. However, before you even get to do your research project, you must complete all of the previous courses, every single one, okay? You have any other questions, Javon?
No, thanks for that clarification, Dr. Clark.
Very good. I see somebody else have a question here. For students who are in their second year of their postgrad diploma and wish to transfer their credits and upgrade to the MSc, what is the process for doing so? All righty, that's a good question. What I advise that you do is you write to the head of department. We will have to get feedback from the faculty level because there may be a policy that we have to adhere to. That's a good question.
Doc, I don't think that is possible.
It's not possible?
No, I think when you register for a degree, whether it's postgrad diploma, it is postgrad diploma. You can't upgrade. You will have to.
You see, it really depends on which program. Take, for instance, in the civil and civil envy, right? You don't really register for a diploma. You can request a diploma if you've registered for the master's and for whatever reason you weren't able to accumulate the, you don't want to go forward with the MSc research project. Then you write to the department requesting that you are given a diploma instead. But that is for the MSc Civil and Civil Envy. With the other programs, it may be a little different, which is why I thought it's best I leave it general and let us process it, get back to you with a full answer. Okay, Gabrielle? Remember, you all are required to know the booklet. These things are in the booklet. It varies for each MSc program, okay? Let us focus at this point on the requirements for the Civ and Civil Envy. If you have questions outside of that and you want to bring it up now, I believe that our other lecturers are also here. They may want to contribute, okay? Andrew Chinley, good afternoon. What is the registration process for students embarking on their thesis research? Well, you would register for that particular course. It is a 9-credit course, and you would register for it at the appropriate time. If you have completed everything already, then I believe you would not be able to register for it until we reach semester 3. Remember, semester 3 is really starting from May. Andrew, is that okay? All right, any other questions?
Dr. Clark, can I answer this question?
I'm hearing somebody, but I'm barely making out what you're saying.
I said, can I answer this question? I think somebody coastal engineering. Can I go ahead and answer it? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Student is asking about the update of marking of research projects submitted in May. There should be examiners meeting for postgrad in September. I'll have to confirm and get back to you, but that is when the next meeting will be, when all marked research projects will be submitted. Okay, so that's the only thing I have, but I can confirm that later on for you. Okay, Ariane?
Good. Any other questions? Okay, now I know that you all are shy, so sometimes you all make me kind of think on your behalf. So here's a question I think you might be interested in. Remember that your role is a little bit more dynamic compared to our undergrad students. And you have much more challenges given your status and your station in life at this point. So the question might arise, if not now, soon, on whether you should take a leave of absence. Yeah, sometimes things happen, but you need to know what is the process. The university has regulations regarding that. So if for whatever reason you need to do that, you must apply for it by the end of the 3rd week in the first semester, or for the semester that you want to get a leave of absence for. So when it comes to this semester, that means you have to apply for it by the 27th of September. Okay? Very important. These are some of the practical things. I have noticed that more students than in the past, are needing to request leave of absence under these COVID conditions. There's also a follow-up rule for that, in that the university does not recognize any participation in a course that goes beyond 5 years if you leave and come back in. In other words, your credits could go stale. So if you need to take a leave of absence, you need to take that into account. All right? When you come back in, you just continue as you were before, and you retain your credits. That should give some stimulating thinking. Questions?
Doc, you want to talk about the qualifying students under our program?
Okay, yes, we do have some qualifying students. You will recall that we have 4 different routes, or some people might say routes, for entering into the program. And one of them requires 2 qualifying courses, one in foundation engineering and one in structural analysis. These are semester 1, level 3 courses, and you'll be required to attend those courses and get a minimum GPA of, I believe it is what, 3.5? 2.5? Can't remember the detail now, but you're required to get us above a certain minimum in order for you to then continue into the program. That means that if you have those qualifying courses to do, now is the time that you have to register for those 2. Once you register, the My Learning system will see you, and you participate in the class in accordance with the lecturer's directives. The head of department mentioned that at this point, Keisha, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that the qualifying students are registering under the SO3 section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The point that I was now harping on, thanks, Keisha. The point I was now harping on is, at this time, there might be a little bit of delay in your completing your registration process by the first day of lectures, which is the 6th of September. The head mentioned that in the interim, while you are wrapping up, you will still be given access to the My Learning as a guest. So the lecturer would send you a link so that you can attend classes using the Blackboard collaborative system, where you will be part of the class, okay? All right, any other questions? A couple of things that I need to mention. Sometimes students either don't know this or they forget it. Sometimes you all don't read enough at this stage. So I'm just going to go through a couple of negative things, but you need to know it. It's regulation stuff, right? You have a maximum of 2 attempts at a course or an exam, or there might be a little problem. Not might be, there will be a problem. Yeah, let me say that again. A maximum of 2 attempts at a course or an exam. Otherwise, you have to take a forced break, a mandatory break, like we call a RTW. Yeah. The student must pass more than half of the courses taken in a semester. You must pass more than half, regardless of whether you've registered part-time or full-time, whatever you've registered for. In that semester, you must pass more than half of it, or they will ask you to take a break and come back. You must get more than or equal to 50% for both the exam and coursework components of a course. The pass mark is 50. You must get 50 or more for both the exam component and the coursework component. If the degree is not completed within 3 years, if you've registered full-time, or within 6 years, if you've registered part-time, no extensions can be given, and then the student is deemed to have failed the program. That's what the technical term is. So yeah, these are some negative things, but I need to know that you have been exposed to the knowledge of it, right? Rather than it shocking you later on. So I just want to reiterate what the head of department said earlier on. 1 hour lecture, 3 hours revision and study. Don't let things pile up. If you let things pile up, there will be consequences. And you all have more challenges than the undergrad students because you all are juggling this phase in your life, especially under COVID, right? Okay, I've seen some other questions here. How does one select a research project or supervisor? By talking to them. Now, you have a project called, a course called Research Methods. There is a coursework item in Research Methods where you, as it were, doing a proposal for continuing, for doing some research. At that point, the opportunity can be taken. You either come with your own idea or you approach lecturers to find out what ideas they have, and you use that as your coursework item. But we try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so that you intend to take that project and develop it at the master's level. Now that is an option. It is not an official part of the program, but it's common sense that you should take that approach so that you capitalize on the work that you would have done before, right? So to answer your question again, you have to approach the lecturer. As the head of department was saying, we have an open door policy. You can contact us at any time. You know that the university has a certain code for its email address, firstname.lastname@sta.uwi.edu. Yeah. What is the process for taking a temporary leave of absence for a semester? You apply to the department. The department will then, well, of course, you have to give your rationale. The department will then give its support, and you channel through your request to the School of Graduate Studies. And then you are informed of the acceptance or denial of your application. Yeah? We going good? Let me see another question. What is the reason for the qualifying courses to be accepted into the civil program? Because the universities that the applicants came from, they graduate with Bachelor of Applied Sciences and not Bachelor of Science. That means that the kinds of things that you would have been expected to do at the undergrad level, you would not have done. One of the big issues has to do with labs, and the other has to do with the extent of the type of learning outcomes in your program. In other words, we do an evaluation of that degree compared to ours and compared to international best practice. And then we determine, okay, this is not quite there yet, so the student has to do these qualifying courses. Can you attend the foundation engineering and structural analysis classes as refreshers only? I'm not sure what you mean as refreshers only. Does that mean that you are not required to do it and you just want to refresh? If that is the case, then the university has a system called auditing of a course. All you have to do is to get the permission of the head of department, who will also, before giving you the permission, will consult with the lecturer for the course, and you'll be allowed to audit that course, which means you attend the course. Yeah. At the end on your transcript, it is noted that you took that course.
You have to pay for audited courses as well.
And you have to pay for audited courses. Okay, A. Roberts. See, we getting questions. That's good. You're still a little shy, but that's all right. That's why I tell you, put it on the chat. Be good for now. You all have any other questions?
Richard?
Wait,
Could you probably just tell the new students about the GPA, the new GPA system?
oh, I will have to ask Keisha to go over that one. Or if you want to do it.
I don't have the information in front of me. That's what the only thing.
Neither me.
Well, we could just tell them that from September, they have
The
graduate
new
students.
students, the new
New
students.
students.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, have implemented a GPA system.
Yeah. What Dr. O'Brien is referring to is the fact that prior to that, only the undergrad program was based on the GPA system. What we had before, we always had, and it's based on the usual percentages and so on, 50%, 60%, 70%, and it's passed, and then above that is distinction. But now we have introduced a GPA system for the postgrad degrees as well. And our GPA systems are meant to tie in with the international interpretation of the numbers. Okay?
Dr. Delpesh, you could correct me if I'm wrong. The new students now will have to register under the GRO1 section.
Yeah, and the
Right.
SO1
And
is for the returning
continuing students, yes.
Mhm.
So new students, the GRO1 section, and the returning students is the normal SO1 section.
Yeah, so just be careful when you're registering.
Pretty straightforward, guys. Now remember, this orientation session doesn't necessarily end when we come off of today's meeting. We are always accessible, right? If you get up 2 o'clock in the morning and something bothering you, something you forget to ask or you're too shy to ask, you could write us and we will get your email, okay? And then we will reply to you. The worst thing that as a university we could do now is in any way make your life harder. This COVID thing done bad enough as it is. All right, any other questions before I hand it over again to our administrative
Yeah,
assistant?
Richard, what is the deadline for selecting research projects? Somebody has asked.
That is a good question. I am not aware of a particular deadline. You would want to have organized what you're going to be doing, I would say within the first 2 weeks, but I don't think we have an official deadline. With regard to academic advising hold on most students' account presently, when will it be removed?
The faculty made a request to Banner that all advising holds will be automatically removed on Friday at 4 p.m.
Thank
This
you, Keisha. I
Friday.
didn't know that. Thanks, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Does the 6-year part-time limit restart after resumption from an RTW? If you have an RTW, the rules say you have to stay out for 2 years. When you come back in, assuming that you've come back in with sufficient time that you have not gone over the 5-year limit, then you retain whatever credit you had before and you continue towards completing as if you were always there. Right? Is that what you're referring to, Alden? But Alden, you in this system a long time, man. How are you asking that question? But Alden, is that all right? You understand? A degree gets stale in UE after 5 years. Okay, good. I see that's fine. Any other questions, guys? All right, so I mentioned that this is not necessarily the end of question and answer. You can ask us questions at any time after now, all right? We have what, the next 12 days before the first lecture. Again, welcome from my perspective. And we'll be in touch. I look forward to working with you, as I'm sure my colleagues also are. Are there any practical sessions or labs? No, that is a good question. The head of department touched on it earlier on. Only this morning did we get word from the principal that we have to continue staying home because of the extension of the state of emergency. There has been, prior to that, there was some vagueness about students having to do some of the labs face-to-face. I'm gonna kind of go out on a limb to and be corrected if necessary soon, that when it comes to this face-to-face lapsing, no, it doesn't make sense. I don't think that we will be going that way. There is only going to be, there are going to be exceptions with respect to MPhil and PhD students who need to be in the labs in order to get their data for their work. In that case, they are given special permission to do so by the university. But for our regular programs, I think that given the extension of the SOE, no, you will not be required to do that. I stand to be corrected though, so if you hear anything, you know that I didn't get it right. Any other questions?
Just one note for the students that those who are on project have to register each semester until they are awarded their degree. Sometimes they forget and they don't register.
Yes,
So
that is a very good point. That is a very good point. And we will take it for granted. Sometimes we take it for granted that you know that and you register, only to realize when you submit your stuff to Mark that you didn't register for that semester. So if your thing has run over, you need to remember to register for it in the current semester, okay? Well, let me see how many of you we have here. 93. That is a good sign. So welcome again. I'm handing over to our AA, Ms. Jordan, and she will take it from there, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Clark. After advising session, the academic advising who will be gone, so what we can register. Which program is that you're speaking about? Which courses is that?
That's coastal.
Oh, coastal. Dr. Dalpesh, you want to
And
go
you said,
ahead?
and did you say at 4 p.m. tomorrow?
Yes, the academic will be removed, but she wanted to know what courses to register for. I think that was another part of the question, if I'm not
No, she said,
mistaken. No?
can we register?
Oh, okay. No,
Yes,
it's only after 4 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Any other question? No. Okay. Dr. Ulutunge, I don't know if you want to say anything on the construction master's program.
Tisha, I will talk something.
Okay, no problem, Dr. Moasha. Thank you.
Right, okay. Construction management is the course which is meant to open you to understand how you can be able to manage the construction industry. So in that case, it's a very, very important program. This program was, for the last 3 years, was chaired by was coordinated by Professor Ray. Unfortunately, he retired. So we hope that a new coordinator will be installed soon. But that does not stop us from doing what we are supposed to do. So in that case, I will be in the real sense that what Dr. Clark has told you is what is the same rules which applies to construction management. I would like just to mention a few of these subjects of which you are going to get into in this program. We are having natural hazards management. You know, Caribbean is a lot of hazards, hurricanes and all that. So we are supposed to be ready all the time. So it's a very crucial. This course is usually taught together or taught, there is option of choosing one of these two courses, either natural hazard or material technology. So in that case, if you choose material technology, of which I'm going to teach you, you will be able to you'll be so much, you'll understand the category of materials, the properties of the materials, the manufacturing of construction materials, and you will be very much aware of how to use sustainable material in the construction industry. The other course which is taught in this one is contract management and construction law. There is always a lot of dispute in the construction industry. So in that case, you must be aware how to be able to stand up yourself, to stand and be able to protect yourself and the client during the construction period. We are having construction accounting and finance. Who doesn't like money? I think everybody likes money. And if everybody likes money, that is very serious. So you should be able to know how to protect your money, how to be able to make sure that you accumulate money and you spend that money appropriately, because most of the construction industry are prone to what they call cost overrun. And this is because there is problems of people do not know how to manage finances. So in that case, you'll get a lot of experienced people who are working in the construction industry will tell you or will inform you, will give you case histories, and you'll be a specialist after you finish this course. And for the semester one, the last course, which is the organization and the management of construction. Management is not easy. You are supposed to be able to manage people, to manage equipment and facilities. So in that case, you should be open. You should be, after finishing this program, you'll be well. You'll be well on the point on how to manage the facilities. But what I would like you to, I would like to mention a bit about the semester two. Semester two, we do practical team projects, of which you go to the site or you go to your working place and you get acquainted with the, you write the projects, of which this one is the one which really can lead you to the registration to ICE or to get professional engineering. So that is a very important course of which you are supposed to, you will do in semester two. Another course which you'll do is maintenance and facilities management. Maintenance is a very important issue in maintenance. You can't have any engineering structure in a good order if it's not maintained. And it should be constantly maintained so that you keep it in a good order. So in that case, you'll be taught how to, the reliability of asset management. You'll be taught a lot about the how to retrofit structures. You'll be taught about hazard management, health and safety issues. So in that case, you'll be able to manage the site, construction site very well. The other one subject which will be taught is research method. I think you've heard about that. In the construction project management. So There is a suggested route for part-time students. For part-time students, year one, we suggest you that in the semester one, you start with what they call, you start with organization and maintenance of construction, and then you go to contract management and construction law. In semester two, for year one, I'm talking about, this is for the part-time students. You start with what they call this construction project management, and you do maintenance facilities management. So those are suggested. For year two, I suggest you do material technology, or you do natural hazards, okay? And the semester two, you do, I suggest you do research methods, and you do the practical team projects. So I would like to get any information from you if you've got any question to ask. I'm not hearing you. Your mic, please. Arilal, your mic is off. Kisha.
Hi.
Yeah, I think there was somebody was trying to ask question, but
Yes, I did answer the question in the chat.
Okay.
Regarding the registration of the project.
All right.
Keisha,
Yes.
Dr. Master, can I answer this question here? I see that Delma is asking.
Yeah.
If we completed our taught courses in April of this year, were we supposed to register for the independent research project in May? And if we didn't, would it be a problem if we register for it the first time this semester and going forward? Yes, it is not a problem. In fact, most students do that. We have an interesting, you might notice that I mentioned earlier on that the university is very flexible on this. The reason being that we don't really have registration in May. Yeah, you are allowed to start your research in May, and you do your the official registration in September. So go ahead and register and don't worry about it. Okay, Delma. All right.
Thanks a lot.
All right, good. So Delma is cool. Okay, Keisha, hand it back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kisha. Thank you, Kisha.
Okay, no problem. I will now pass you on to Dr. Lee Leon, who will discuss in detail regarding the Staff Student Liaison Committee.
Good afternoon, students. Welcome, new students, and welcome back to the continuing students. I am Dr. Leon. I am the chairperson of the department's Staff Student Liaison Committee. This is a committee which is made up of myself, member of staff, and 2 representatives from each postgraduate program. So 2 from construction, 2 from civil, 2 from coastal. The committee meets twice for the semester. So we try to meet at least the 3rd week in the semester and the last week, or probably sometimes a few days after the last exam. And this is when we discuss and record information on anything that affects the delivery of your course, content, and any other matters. That is, it is very important to us in the department to hear your concerns as students so we can address them as best as we could. The good thing about the committee is that you, the student reps, are the ones recording whatever is said or discussed. So there is no bias by me or a member of staff in recording exactly what is voiced or sometimes even vented at the meetings. So having said that, I would like to have some volunteers for each of the programs, 2 volunteers, and you can submit your names to me. I will put my email address in the chat. And the 2 representatives of volunteers should be new students as well as continuing students, because we would like to have the new student, the perspective of a new student, as well as the perspective of a continuing student. So 1 representative will be a new student and the next one will be a continuing student. The student reps can also be either full-time or part-time students. So it doesn't matter whether you're a full-time or part-time student, you can be a student rep. However, students who are doing research projects will not be able to be a student rep since you are not attending any other courses, since you are only on projects. So since you are not participating in any course delivery, you will not be able to be a student representative. And also the class reps the volunteers can be from any country represented here today. So it doesn't only have to be from Trinidad and Tobago. It can be from any part of the world. Once you are students in the department, you can be a student rep. So once again, thank you very much for giving me a listening ear and welcome me to the department. As I said, my email address is in the chat. So you can, any volunteers, any persons from postal, construction, civil, I would like to be a student rep, you could just email me with your name as well as your ID number. Thank you very much. Back to you, Ms. Jordan.
Thank you, Dr. Leon. All right. Are there any questions by the student body?
Hello, good evening, afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
Hi, Keisha. I joined a bit late. I just want to know if this recording will be available so I could see from the beginning.
Yes, it will be available. Dr. Delpech, probably in the next 2 days. I think they may want to edit it first and then they will put it up on the departmental website. We will inform you all.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Right. Another thing. After this session, could we now go ahead and register?
All right.
I'm not
Yes,
familiar with the hold and all of these things. So
okay, yes, you will late. As it was said before, the academic advising holds will be automatically removed tomorrow, Friday at 4 p.m. After that, you should be able to register.
okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Keisha. First, let me apologize. I had to step off the meeting here for a phone call.
Sure.
And you're always speaking about the new students have to register under a new section.
Yes.
What about the continuing students? Could you
right. The continuing students registering under the SO1 section, the section that you usually register under.
Okay, thanks. So everything
Okay,
everything as normal for
everything as normal for continuing students, correct?
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem.
I think there's a question in the chat, Keisha. I think that's for Dr. Marsha. Dr. Marsha, are you there?
Good afternoon. Do we have to follow the suggested route for part-time, or is there a suggested rule? route, sorry, for construction management. Dr. Moasha?
Yeah, say again. Okay. What's the question?
Do we have to follow the suggested route for part-time, or is there a particular reason there is
No,
a
no, no, no,
suggested
no.
route?
It's just a suggestion. You can, it's your will, if you wish. It's just a suggestion.
Any other questions? Okay, just to reinstate, if anyone have any questions, at least for the particular programs, coastal engineering, the secretaries to the programs are Ms. Tanisha Lewis, she is the coastal secretary. Mrs. Sunita Singh is the construction management program secretary, and I am Keisha Jordan, the secretary for the MSc Civil Engineering and Civil with Envi. Ladies, I think we could put our email addresses in the chat so persons could contact us. Dr. Olutunj, I could put it back to you to round off this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope all our students have benefited greatly from the orientation and the advising so far. And as mentioned, this is not the end. This is just the beginning. You are free to contact any of the aforementioned people, your coordinators, and your the secretaries in charge of each of the programs. So I want to use this opportunity to thank you all for coming. And I want to also wish you an exciting, enjoyable, fulfilling academic session. Thank you all, and God bless.